The other day, while studying with my roommate Kylie in the first floor lobby of Moore, I realized just how different our study habits and our music habits were. I was listening to some upbeat music that we had listened to this winter break during SMC, and she was listening to some slow melodic worship music while studying. I had to listen to this upbeat music to help me study, while she had to listen to this worship music to help her study. I found this fascinating and wanted to know which one was more common and why this was that we had to listen to this different music. I then began to dive a little deeper and to ask our friends which one they listened to or if their habits were different. And I was fascinated with the results. Right away, I picked up that our friend Molly, who was sitting right across the table from me, wasn't listening to any music. She was easily focused without listening to any music, and it blew my mind. I couldn't do that. And my friend Ben, he told me that he doesn't listen to any music and he can focus without it. I don't know if it's because I have ADHD or what, but I can't do that whatsoever. I need something to drown out all of the noise and all of the stimulus going on around me to focus. Another common answer I got from a lot of friends, like my friend Andrew and my friend Jacob, was that they needed music that had no words whatsoever. They liked instrumental music. My friend Andrew even liked to listen to movie scores, which was bizarre to me, but that's what he liked. And they could not have words, otherwise they began to sing along. And for me, that would drive me insane. And I don't know how they do it, but it's how they do it. And this third element was just confusing me even more and how our brains worked. And so I began to do some research in how all of our brains work and the layer of ADHD for me and the layer of different study habits as we all study differently. I have to study in increments, and some of my friends do it all at once. And it was just so many layers of how our brains work, and how music is just one little layer of that. And I just dove in, started doing some research on it. So, what did I find? In this article, Listening to Music While Studying, a good idea or a bad idea, they lay out some studies done on the Mozart effect, which says while listening to music, such as Mozart, while studying, it can actually help you remember things better. It kind of debunked this and said that it can all depend on certain things, like the complexity of what you're learning and if you're an introvert or an extrovert, saying that if you're learning simple things, yeah, it does help. Or if you're an introvert, maybe it doesn't. It all really depends on the person. And this is what I found when I was interviewing my friends. As I began to read study after study, I realized that most of them were saying it really depended on the person. And I began to realize that this was true in my real life. I saw that each person had their own way of studying their own music that they listened to or didn't even listen to. And I began to realize that I was different than each person around me, but that was totally okay. So, what did I learn through all of this? I learned that my study habits aren't really normal compared to everyone else's, and that's okay. I'm gonna have students that feel the exact same way as me, and I have to adjust to their study habits as well. I also learned that everyone's study habits are different, and everyone feels the exact same way I do. And the music we listen to just depends on us. And there's so many scientific studies out there that tell us that we're wrong, that we listen to the wrong music while studying. And it may tell us that, but to us it's right. And what do we tell our students when they hear these things? What do we do about all of this? And that is what we need to answer as teachers. Here's what I propose. I propose that we really get to know our students, not just on a surface level, but really, really get to know our students. Know their study habits, what makes them tick, what makes them really strive to learn the material. What music do they like? I guarantee that none of my teachers knew that I really like to listen to this kind of music when I study. And no teacher really got to know that. And maybe make a playlist of all the different kinds of music that your students like. Have them give you song suggestions. Yes, they're in elementary school, but maybe like types of music they like. And create this playlist so that you can play it while they're studying. It really will be beneficial. And throw some music in there that you like. It's not a one type of music fits all. It's never going to be that way with education. And sooner or later, we're all going to have to learn that. We all know it deep down. We just have to learn it. And studies show that we're all wrong in some way. And that just means that we're all different. So let's embrace it.
I've been to the year 3000. Not much has changed, but they lived underwater. And